Hi guys, Mark here from Red Monkey and welcome to The Edge, where we spend just a few minutes on helping you take your business right to the very edge of success and beyond. Once again, great privilege of having Jac Gallagher from Notch Above Bookkeeping join me. Jac, welcome back.
Thanks, Mark. Great to be here.
Always good to talk to you. Hey Jac, I want to talk about communication with your bookkeeper, because one of the things that I've noticed with the people that you work with, including us, is where I've seen you very different to lots of bookkeepers. And one of my big frustrations with bookkeepers in the past has always been they're very retrospective in the way they do things. So, they only the communication only happens when there's a problem. Whereas what you do is very proactive. And so you recommend that kind of proactive thinking. Tell me a little bit more about some of the things that we can do in improving the way that we communicate with our bookkeepers.
Right. I think it's really important to be forward thinking. So if you as a business owner have something that you're thinking about doing, potentially entering into a new lease, call your bookkeeper first. It may be advice we can give. We may need to speak to your tax agent about it, but it's really important to get that information up front.
That's a really good point, Jac, actually, because one of the things that I really appreciate about the work that we do together is that as much as I love talking to Scott, often I don't have to. So I can put things in conversations we have, and you simply say, let me talk to Scott, who's the accountant. And of course, you guys will probably communicate at a very similar level on the same plane as each other, because you understand what you're talking about. So I can actually use you as a conduit to get some really good advice from my tax accountant where you can't give me that advice, for example.
Yes, and that's that communication between the bookkeeper and the accountant is really important as well. So also the I guess communication on a more day-to-day level or ongoing operational level of the business is the bookkeeper should be processing your work on a regular basis. Now, whether that be weekly, fortnightly, monthly, it's going to depend on the size of your business. We get a lot of our data submitted electronically from customers using an app called Receipt Bank, which means they can go and fill their car up with fuel, send us through that paperwork immediately via an app on their phone. And that electronic communication cuts a lot of the noise out, so we can leave the conversations for the important conversations.
So Jac, I love Receipt Bank. And I tell anybody who will listen about Receipt Bank. Now you're sitting there thinking, I know you love it, Mark, but could you just use it all the time?
Well, yes.
I think I'm doing better. But I'll tell you why I love Receipt Bank, because, I travel a lot, and it used to be the case that everywhere I travel, I get a docket from the taxi, or I get a docket from parking, or whatever it might be. And I end up with a briefcase full of dockets that would end up going into the old shoebox or something like that. Now all I need to do is grab the docket, take a photo on my phone using the Receipt Bank app, and I can actually screw that docket up and throw it away. And that's actually that's quite legitimate from an ATO perspective as well, isn't it? It's quite accepted as a legitimate receipt.
Absolutely. We get the image of that up on our screens and attached to the transaction within the accounting file. So we'll open that transaction in Xero, or this is the end result once we've reviewed that, processed it, put it to the correct account code. That image is there, always available, should the tax office want to see your receipts. And the added benefit of not fading. How many times do you look at it even a month later and there's nothing written on that receipt anymore?
And I've done that. I've pulled out a receipt and it's just a blank piece of paper, complete waste of time. Yeah. So, Jac, takeaways from that. Think about proactive meeting with your bookkeeper. Use your bookkeeper to help improve communication with your tax accountant, and technology. Use technology, so things like Receipt Bank that make life so much easier.
Yeah, technology's out there, and we've just got to embrace it. It's always changing. We like to stay on top of it and just implement what we can to make your lives better and to make our lives better as well.
I was talking to a really, really good client the other day, and he's very much, very technologically advanced, very up on all those sorts of things. And it was funny because we actually got out of a taxi together, and he grabbed the receipt and he said, I've got to remember to put that in the back of my wallet and hand it to my assistant. I went, well, no, you don't. So there you go. I was actually able to teach him something in technology.
Fantastic. That's great.
Great 3 takeaways. Let's just recap on them really quickly. Proactive communications with your bookkeeper. Use your bookkeeper to help you communicate with your tax accountant, and embrace technology. Things like Receipt Bank are really fantastic and will make life so much easier for you.
Absolutely. Yes. Thanks, Mark. They're the 3 takeaways. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.